turned on the microphone. Just.
You took the note away just as I was about to sign it to speak.
Oh, I know. I had to give it to her, so she's going to say, does anyone else want to speak? Just raise your hand.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I have to give I know. I have to give it to her.
You don't want me to speak?
No, I did. Of course I should. She'll ask. Okay.
Okay, we're going to get started. We're going to start with attendance, please.
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Here.
Councilman Jerry Batari.
Here.
Councilman Brian Donahue.
Here.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Here.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Here, and we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, a couple of quick announcements. We have the Orangetown is going to be celebrating the 250th year of American independence on July 4th. The parade's going to be stepping off at 10 a.m. From the William O. Schaefer School, and there's going to be a festival to follow at the German Masonic Park afterwards. So for anyone who's interested, check out the website. We have a lot of details on there. We do have two presentations. We're going to start with the Blauvelt Orangeburg Republican Club presentation of the Frank A. Fernario Senior Memorial Scholarship Award. Mr. Gavioli is going to take the lead on this.
Good evening, members of the town board and the town supervisor. On behalf of the Blauvelt Orangeburg Republican Club, I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to award the Frank Fernario Scholarship this evening. As most of you are aware, Frank was an outstanding resident of the town of Orangetown. He was always there for the community, making sure individuals' rights were protected and defending the look and the feel of the town of Orangetown. He was open to current ideas, but defended what he clearly been defined as Orangetown. He was an outstanding citizen and critically elected official, always seeking to defend and uphold the rights of the community. Tonight, we are extremely proud to award a scholarship in his name to Ronald Bolte. He is a graduate of Pearl River High School. Mr. Bolte is outstanding in each and every way. If you review his resume, you will be shocked at all he has accomplished in his young life to date. It is anticipated he will continue to perform in an outstanding way. He has achieved so much in such a short time. He will be attending West Point Military Academy. We have never, and I've been doing this for a long time, had a recipient who was so impressive. We cannot go through all of his accomplishments because we would be here all night. But I want to highlight some of them. He is a member of the National Honor Society. He is a member of the Social Studies Honor Society. He is a member of the Science Honor Society. He is a member of the Mu Alpha Theta Math Honor Society. He is a recipient of the Pearl River High School PTSA Scholarship. He is the recipient of the New York State Scholarship for Academic Excellence. He is in receipt of the New York State Seal of Biliteracy. He is honored as a senior for High Honor Roll. He is the valedictorian for the class of 2026. We can go on, but I believe you get the idea. This young man is high and extraordinary achiever, outpacing everyone. We wish him well. At this time, I want to call on Frank Fenario's daughter, Barbara Noyes, and his son, Frank Fenario Jr., to present the scholarship award and the certificate.
Ryan, my father would be so impressed with all that you've done. You're going to make West Point very lucky, and we are lucky to have you as a country. The only thing, he was in the Navy, so he might have a little something to say about that, but congratulations, and I know that you have an amazing future.
And Ronald, all I can say is, how did you manage to do all that you've done for 4 years? I gotta tell you, I'm sure your parents are here now. They must be so proud of you, and my father would be very proud of you too, that you have not only what you've done, but the future you're gonna have and the difference you're gonna make in this world. I wanna wish you, on behalf of my father, and Barbara, you wanna take the rest? Together. I don't know if I salute you, but,
We also have a certificate. We also have a certificate for you. I don't know, do you want to come up here and take a picture? Yeah, everybody get in. Well, not everybody. Okay, you got a good fam up here, too.
We have some people on this side.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
There's a small reception outside, if anybody who has come, okay?
I'm in.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so before we call up the next presentation is going to be the Orangetown Palisades Renewal Center presentation for the IBM/H&A Palisades Conference Center. Before they they start, I just wanted to clarify for everyone here tonight that tonight is just a presentation about the project. The owner applicant has not filed a petition for a zone change, thus there's no vote tonight or any other official action that's going to be taken with respect to the project. Tonight is an opportunity for you to hear about the project directly from the owners, to ask questions and give your input. And more importantly, it's a chance for them to hear directly from you about your concerns and your questions. I personally have been working with Atlantic Realty and the representatives from the company for quite some time, and I found them to be extremely receptive to suggestions, really wanting to work with the town board and to have a final project that we all can be proud of. I have no doubt that they will continue to do that with all of you tonight. So procedurally, if the project moves forward, there'll be many more opportunities for you to comment. The first step in the process would be for the town board to accept an actual petition for a zone change and to refer it out to other government agencies, the Rockland County Planning Board, the Orangetown Planning Board, and several other agencies. And then there would be a public hearing on the zone change petition and an extensive environmental review process. Then, so there'd be obviously public hearings where you could speak again. Then if the board approved a zone change, the applicant would have to go to our planning board for site plan approval, review and approval, with more opportunities for the public to weigh in on the project and the planning board to conduct its own independent review. Then you throw in the requirement that they have to go to the Architectural Community Appearance Board of Review, ACABOR, and there's even more opportunities for the public to comment. So tonight is the first step in a very long process, and I just ask that you listen and learn about the project, ask your questions, and provide your initial thoughts, but recognize that you will have many, many more times to speak about the project. So on that note, I'm going to call up the applicant or their attorney, whoever wants to speak.
Good evening. Thank you so much. I have to first say, my name is Jeremy Halpern, and I am the vice president, one of the vice presidents of Atlantic Realty. And I'm incredibly proud to be here. I want to thank you. I was born not very far from here in Good Sam, and I grew up in Wesley Hills, part of Muncie, which I'm sure you all know. I was there till middle school, and my parents moved us to get a little closer to work. But I have a very special place in my heart for Rockland County, and while I've stood before many boards over the years, it's very special to me to be standing here tonight with all of you, so I want to thank you. I'm the oldest of the third generation in a family business that now goes back 70 years. In 1957, my grandfather and his brother, who were survivors of the Holocaust, after moving to America, decided to go into the building business, although in 1957 they were told New Jersey is built out already, so don't bother. Thank God he didn't listen, my grandfather and his brother, and we have been building in New Jersey, in New York, for 70 years, continuously in dozens and dozens of different towns and cities, municipalities. There is something very special about what you have here, and specifically this property, it's over 106 acres in Palisades, and I know that it's gone through hands many times over the past 6-7 years. So while I can't do anything about the past and how we got to this moment, I can tell you that we are the most flexible and understanding and involved organizations you'll ever meet. When we come into a town, it's not to attack the town or change it. It's to come and be a good resident, a good neighbor, a good taxpayer. We want to come in here and help to keep on building what's so special about Palisades and Rockland County in general. On the 106 acres, there have been many plans through the years. You know, there's currently a gigantic 450,000-foot building. It has 202, I believe, hotel rooms that have been sitting empty for years already, a convention center, all sorts of amenities. It was a stunning building in its time, and unfortunately, even most recently, where there's been a lot of looting going on that I'm sure people are aware of, and we've been trying everything. We even have guards there every night. A lot of damage has been done, and that's not our thing. We want to improve everything. We want to make everything look better and nicer and more functional. So the plan we've come up with here, and we have met with town representatives over the past year to 18 months, I want to say, and we've taken a lot of their feedback, and we look forward to taking more feedback. This is in no way the final plan. This is what we're recommending and what we think would work very well here. It's a project of 342 residential units, which is consistent with the memorandum of understanding that was adopted a while back. It's 288 luxury townhouses, each, I believe, with their own two-car garage, three-story, about 3,000 square feet approximately. Really nice units. I think types we envision it to be the type of housing where people who maybe are selling their house in town and want to move into something a little bit smaller with a little bit less requirements for maintenance, that type of community. And while we were here originally and we had proposed 342 units, some came back and said, you know, there's really a need for some flats, some condo flats as well. So we went back to the drawing board and took what was our amenity building that we were building sort of in the spot that the convention area was for the old hotel. We said, okay, we can make that a multi-story building, and I'll show some pictures in a minute, but we were able to put 54 condo flats, all two-bedroom, very large, nice units also that people could either be starting off or downsizing into. We think there's a big need for that around here, and we really want to build a very high-quality, beautiful residential development. At the same time, in the original MOU, there was all sorts of different ideas of other things that could be done on the site. And the town expressed the desire that we fill the site and utilize all of the land that's possible so that we don't have to worry about future development. And so we came back and we brought in my opinion, I'm going to introduce him in a minute, but Hunter Janoff, who is, I believe, the fourth generation from the Crystal Plaza in Livingston, New Jersey. They are a very high-end catering company that have done an amazing job over 100+ years. I forget the exact amount. I apologize, Hunter. I want to show you a couple quick pictures here. I'm sorry that it's tough to see, but we do have the boards around. People can look at it a little closer. But in essence, every box you see up there is either a 3-unit building or a 6-unit building. We tried to keep as much space as we can between them. I believe the minimum setbacks from even any property line is over 80 feet, and from any house in the area is 160 feet, I believe, 167 feet, to be clear. We have some site constraints. You see some orange circles up on the top in a couple of areas. There are some areas where there are wetlands and buffers. Obviously, you have the existing waterways there, and we wanted to be obviously very diligent about that. So we have designed this in a way that it fits within everything on the site, takes into account any environmental constraints on the site, and also the fact it's not necessarily easy to see when you're driving around there, but there's a lot of steep pitch on this site. Everything drains down into the waterway, and we had to, deal with that and how the roads would be to make it a workable and usable community. I'm going to try to just go through it for a second. We'll get to this. Okay, so here is a 3D rendering of the development. As you can see, they're all 3-unit and 6-unit buildings, which I'll show you a little closer now. We've held it all back from the sides of the properties. Apologize, I don't know why it's doing that. I'm not sure how to do this to go to the next. I'm doing the arrow. I'm sorry, just one second. This is an example of a 6-unit building. As you can see, the 2-car garages, 3-story. They all will have elevators. We want to make sure it's a very accessible unit for anybody, again, from starting off or to people in retirement or anybody who might have any kind of disabilities. These units have everything thought about that you can enter from multiple levels and take the elevator all the way through. We find also if you are talking about people who are selling their houses and moving into a development like this, that they have things that are very important to them. For example, their break front and dining room furniture. Doesn't matter if you're downsizing, you still want to be able to have the whole family over for the holidays. So we've made the dining rooms very large. We've made a lot of storage, a lot of areas that people can really enjoy it with their entire family. This is a 3-unit building. We did hear back that we wanted to break up and have some smaller buildings, so we have a lot of the units are in 3-unit buildings as well, which is nice too because every end unit has the outside windows and nicer layout. This just shows you a drive aisle and a streetscape. Hard to capture in pictures because it is a 100-acre site, so everything seems like it's big, but in reality, relative to the size of the land, these aren't going to be large structures. The only large structure is the 3 stories on top of amenities and parking. And that's this building here on the water, It provides for 54 flats. They're all two-bedroom, very large, I believe 1,700 square feet approximately. And you know, what's the most important to us is that you're seeing throughout here a lot of pictures of nice trees and everything, but we're going to landscape it incredibly beautifully. It's really important to us. More important than anything else is our name. It's our reputation. We've been doing this for 70 years. We don't want to do anything to ever embarrass ourselves. We've been in developments where we've made money and others where we've lost money. The homeowners never know because we are there to do the right thing by the town and by those who purchase from us. And we want at the end to walk away and people say, wow, that was great, that was an improvement. And I know all development is scary, but we try to do it in the best possible manner and be partners with the town. Come into this council and say, we will be here for you. And as we go through this process and as the town has needs and people come to us with ideas and questions, we want to be open, be available to discuss it and make changes as needed. I'm sure there'll be questions later. I'm happy to come back up, but I would like to introduce Hunter Janoff for 1 minute to talk about his family and their business and what they could bring to this development.
Thank you, Jeremy, and great to be here with everyone this evening. Go to my slides. There you go. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'll just tell you a little about our family business. We are as well a family business. We've been in business for 109 years, 4 generations. Our flagship part of the business is our venue, Crystal Plaza, which is in Livingston, New Jersey. So in Livingston, we have a venue that has a 400-person capacity. We primarily host weddings, but all different types of celebrations. And we've been approached many times in the past, a lot in recent years, actually, since 2020 and COVID, when a lot of businesses were turning over, for different opportunities to expand our business. And this is the first time we see something where we have a product that we can create that will truly be exactly what we need to carry on the family legacy. So my brother, who's my business partner, 4th generation, and I are looking to see how we can bring a little bit of what we do so well down there to your community. This is not a concept. This is truly a model that we've been planning for close to 18 months with the Atlantic team as well. And we think we're going to have a very premium product, be able to staff incredible numbers, and we're really excited to be able to create an ultra luxury kind of product on this property. I just want to add some color, though, because I know this is important when we're talking about the community and the town. We are grandfathered in, we've been in that space since 1965, and it's a fully residential community. And we know the ins and outs of working around the community, that's for sure. And something that we have tried to do for our own sake and for the community's sake through this planning process is truly create a space that, while it lives on its own and has incredible beauty, and we can kind of shift to the next picture here, because at scale, we wanted to create something that didn't just look like a big box, right? We've all been to spaces that are very commercial looking. We want this to feel like a home in the Palisades. That's truly the environment we're trying to create for our guests. But talking about the actual operations here, we know exactly where we sit on this property between, the future residences, the golf course, and everyone else that's around us. And we tried to be extremely mindful of how the event flow would actually operate so that we are in our own bubble there. And I know that that's going to be something that's brought up in the future, and I want you to know that from the very beginning, that's top of mind for us. So look forward to communicating with everyone and answering questions in the future, and appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Hunter and Jeremy, and thank you to the board. My name is Ira Emanuel. I'm the attorney on this project, and I don't get to show you pretty pictures. I get to talk to you about nuts and bolts. The current zoning on the property, as the board knows, is something called OP, which was pretty much tailor-made for the use of the property when it was the IBM Conference Center. It does not contemplate, the current OP zone does not contemplate this type of development. We knew this going in, the board knew this going in when they entered into the memorandum of understanding, and there was, we all knew that there was going to have to be an amendment to the existing zoning in order to accommodate this project, or any residential project. So we are going to be proposing, when we do file a formal petition, we're going to be proposing that there be a change to the text of the OP zone that, first of all, would allow the residential use that we are proposing. The event space is already allowed, but we're going to ask for a change in the zone to allow the residential use. We're also going to propose some new bulk requirements because the bulk requirements, again, reflect what the previous use was. And among those is a mechanism that will allow for the bulk requirements to apply to the parcel as a whole. What we're proposing is, I believe it's 288 townhouse units, each of which will be on its own lot. And your code, as it currently stands, would not allow that. In addition, the event space would have to be on its own lot. And so we're proposing a mechanism that would allow for complete control, as you currently have with your planning board and zoning board, but would also allow for the bulk requirements to apply as they need to be in this type of situation. We actually have a model for that in the town of Clarkstown, where they use this for the two major shopping centers that they have there, the Shops at Nanuet and the Palisades Mall. The Shops at Nanuet, believe it or not, is actually on 3 different tax lots. Palisades Mall is on about 25 different tax lots. If you go to a tax map, you'd be amazed to see that. But they have a mechanism that allows them to deal with the entire site as a single parcel for zoning purposes, and we're proposing something that is modeled on that, and that would apply in only very, very limited circumstances, so that you're not going to have to worry about something over in, for example, Pearl River, being able to take advantage of this unless it meets the particular standards. And we will continue to work with your planners and your town attorney with respect to that. The second thing I want to talk about is the environmental review under SECRA. This is a big project. We make no bones about it. And we recognize that this is a type 1 project, type 1 action under SECRA. And for the members of the public who may not be familiar, SECRA divides the types of actions that are around into type 1 actions, which are very large and which are more likely than not to have an impact on the environment. Type 2 projects, which are these small projects, a single-family home, and small residential, and some other projects which are not likely to have an impact on the environment, and then everything in between. This is a big project. This is clearly a type 1 project. And because we know that it's a type 1 project, and because we know it's big, and because we know it's important, okay, and that we have to be sure that we are mitigating any impacts on the environment as a result of this, the applicant will be asking for a positive declaration from the lead agency, okay, and that will require us to prepare a full environmental impact statement. And so in addition to the public hearings that the supervisor talked about at the introduction, there will also be public hearings with respect to the environmental impacts. It's an involved process, it's a lengthy process, it's frankly an expensive process, but we think it's appropriate for this project, we think it's appropriate for the town that we engage in it. So with that, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to continue. We will be coming back for the public comments so people can speak. We're just going to workshop through our items real quick, and then we will open up the floor. Just by way of hands, I only have 14 people that signed up, but there's maybe people here who came in late or didn't sign in because they're not sure. If you would like to speak, would you mind just raising your hand? Okay. 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 I mean, I'm not holding anybody to it. You don't raise your hand. It's just, we usually do 3 minutes. If everyone rose their hands, I would probably reduce the amount of time, but it looks like it's manageable, at least so far. So, okay. So we are going to workshop our agendas. Fortunately, we do have a kind of a short agenda tonight. So number 3, we're accepting the Economic Development Initiative Community Project funding. This is for the federal money we're getting to finish the Middletown Road project in Pearl River, long overdue and much needed. Number 4 is the DASNY, which is a state grant we're accepting to redo at Camp Shanks to make the bathrooms brought up to ADA compliant and look like it's 2026, because from what I'm told, they're very bad. Number 5, okay, so last meeting, we approved an agreement with AKRF to do a moratorium on the data centers and to look at our code. In having discussions, we decided to add in the battery storage systems, because they're somewhat like the data centers in that we don't really have anything in our code for them, but now they're coming to us. And so rather than try to squeeze them in somewhere maybe they don't fit, we're going to add them to the moratorium and have AKRF also look at that for our town code. So this is an amend the agreement to include the battery energy storage systems, and there's a slight increase in the costs to the town. So that's what that number is, an amendment. Number 6, we're going to appoint William Walther. He's as a temporary member of the Architectural Community and Appearance Board of Review. Our town code requires that we have an architect, and our 17-year member, who's an architect, stepped down, and we are trying to find one. So in the meantime, he has agreed to step in and be on our board until we can find somebody to step up permanently. So number 7, standard workday. This is required for certain elected and appointed officials. We have to keep a calendar, we have to submit it, we have to approve it, and it basically says how much time the employees get in the New York State retirement system. So we have 2 employees there. Number 8, release of the reserve at Pearl River Performance Bond. That's the over 55 project on Veterans Memorial Drive. We are releasing their security bond. Number 9, we're accepting the retirement of Police Officer Michael McDanis, effective June 29, 2026. And then we have some lend assistance, which is the fun stuff that we do. So we're going to lend assistance to 2026 Pearl River fireworks, which are on July 4th in the Central Avenue Field in Pearl River. And then we have the audit. So overall, we have a light agenda. So can I get a motion to open the public comment?
I make a motion to open a public comment.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the first person signed up to speak is Carol Baxter.
Dear Supervisor Kenny and the Town Board, thank you for this opportunity to speak. We are very happy to have this presentation on the IBM H&A property that means so much to us. And thank you to the community who has come out tonight. I know you had other things to do, but it's really important that we all came here to learn and listen tonight. Thank you for being here. Many of us have been watching this property since 2017. Just as we have learned more about the development plan tonight, we hope the Town Board and Atlantic will learn from the community so that we can work together. Since 2021, this property has certainly passed through a lot of hands. H&A, Revell, SL Green, Palisades Renewal Center, Orangetown Palisades Renewal Center, and the lines between a lot of them have been blurred. We understand times change, but you can understand how concerned the community is, as it has started out as a boutique hotel and spa with a farm, event space, and 30 townhouses for hotel use only, requiring no zone change, to then roll into 342 townhouses with an event venue for 600. Revell told us they were looking forward to working with the community. Peggy and Joe and their lawyer all expressed their commitment to work with the community. We could even help them pick the bricks and participate in the planning to make this property a gem that we will all feel proud of. In a meet and greet interaction with Atlantic a year ago, we were told that they were going to build 342 units. It seemed that that was the end of the discussion. Packing 342 residential townhouses and event venues, 600 guests on this beautiful and special property does not really match with our community. During the 2 MOU processes, the board and the town lawyer repeatedly reminded us that the 342 residential units in the MOU were non-binding. that the yes vote only acknowledged that their plan was changing. So I'm reminding you now that the 342 units were non-binding. You didn't agree to them then, and I encourage you to think about this now. We understand that this property will be developed, but let's adjust this 342 units. For years, we have asked to have input. As always, we are available and eager to work together with Atlantic and the town to create something we can all be proud of. Jeremy, we look forward to meeting you to discuss this with a small group. Thank you for hearing us.
Stacy Maher.
I think this new development, the H&A property, is a great idea. As someone who's been attending school board meetings for 24+ years, I can say with certainty our enrollment here in Orangetown is on the decline. Therefore, we need more school-aged children, more families choosing to live here, and more businesses contributing to the tax revenue of our schools in town. We should be looking for ways to attract people to live, work, and invest in our community. I will also say I attended a wedding and a few events at the Crystal Plaza in Livingston, New Jersey, and would be thrilled for an event venue like that to be here as I look at weddings, graduations from law school, and future for my family. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Rita Strumpf. Okay. Michael Paella. Jeannie Boos. I'm sorry. Oh, left. Okay. Well, we're going. Lori Leahy. Oh, a sign-in sheet. Okay, yeah, we have to make that. Okay. Joanne Barak. You gotta take her.
I'm shrinking.
We need a step stool for you.
It's okay, I'll stand on tiptoes. Joanne Barak from Palisades. I've lived in this town for almost 40 years. Palisades is not a town. Palisades is a hamlet, a tiny hamlet, a village along the river. Over a period of 200 to 300 years, it has grown slowly and organically. And I would ask the City Council to be sure that we continue to grow organically and not have 342 townhouses and condominiums in one fell swoop foisted upon us. I would also remind everyone that there is another 50 units that are being proposed by another developer in Palisades. And it's very concerning to all of us that the historic nature of our town will be completely overtaken by development. Thank you.
David Mart.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak to the town board and to voice our concerns for the community. I'm Dave Mart. I'm a past commander of the John M. Perry American Legion Post 1044, which is an abutting neighbor to the property under discussion. I represent 150, roughly, members of our Legion Post, as well as the members of the senior group and the 12-step program members who also use our facility. The Legion Post would welcome some development on this property in comparison to the present state that people have become aware of, a state of neglect, attractive nuisance, and out of control looting and other types of trespassing. But we, based on the initial presentation, have numerous concerns that we'd like to voice to the developers tonight. First, the developers seem to be ignoring the fact that we're an abutting neighbor. The presentation material wrongly states that there is no nearby development to the west. That's us. Please reach out to us. We're happy to discuss in person our concerns. The 3D site plan rendering doesn't depict at all the Legion Post buildings and equipment. The 2D site plan presentation fails to depict the setback from the redesigned Route 340 access road that's encroaching upon the Legion Post property line. Overall, the opinion is we just think there are too many buildings, too many residents, way too many cars, a terrible traffic plan, and no significant border areas set aside as buffers and green space to protect the abutting property owners. The venue size that's been talked about tonight, sadly, is our biggest concern because it's what's closest to our property. The proposed event venue and parking lot is, in our view, excessive in size, and any such facility should not be isolated as a bubble. We think the traffic should go routed out to Route 9W, where a traffic signal should be installed. To have 550 cars and all the commercial vehicles that'll be doing deliveries and pickups routing onto Route 340 at some type of a stop sign intersection right next to the Palisades Parkway overpass, which already obstructs visibility in that area, is going to make a dangerous situation. I have elderly members of our post that struggle pulling out. We have families that leave the ball field across the street. Their safety is also in danger. Picture an event where everybody's done with the event and all 550 cars try to leave that parking lot at once. It's not going to be very pretty. I don't see anything, and again, it's early in this process, but I suspect you've done a lot of work that you're not yet, have the opportunity to show. I see nothing addressing drainage and flooding. I don't see any comparison of the proposed versus the existing impermeable surfaces. I don't see any topographic analysis demonstrating drainage control. Nothing that's going to show the path of the water that you said is downhill and flows to the west, which is, again, pick me. Our post already floods during tropical storms. Again, I welcome development, but please don't put the burden on a bunch of veterans who've already served their country. I don't see any outdoor recreational spaces in that plan. So very quickly, I don't see recreational spaces. If the town approves a zoning change, I would request that you consider including a ban on outdoor music and events so it doesn't harm the abutting neighbors. I'd also like to see it recognize our Legion Post's continued rights to convene our events unhindered, such as a turkey shoot. I don't want to see 342 neighbors moving in and now telling us that we're upsetting their way of life.
We have to hold everyone to the 3 minutes. I just want to point out one thing to some of the points you made. So about the lights off of 9W, all sounds very reasonable. That's all part of a planning board. Like, these are renderings, so they're not showing drainage, and they're very technical, those plans. So the attorney said at the beginning, the environmental, they're going to the highest environmental scrutiny that you're going to get. There will be plenty of drainage studies, every kind of study you can imagine, traffic studies, and all of it's going to be part of it. So I think we appreciate your comments, but this is not where they would necessarily be showing it to you. But okay, Phil Bauman.
Good evening, and thank you very much for allowing me to present tonight. As residents of Orangetown Palisades for over 40 years, my wife and I appreciate the services and your work and the board and the town addressing problems we face, such as tonight's. Thank you for your hard work and for allowing us and allowing me to speak. My wife and I were first drawn to Palisades, where we live on 9W in Orangetown 40 years ago, and fell in love with the community for several reasons, including its rich, wonderful history, its rural feeling, our hamlet, which abuts Tallman State Park, as many of you know, and the welcoming neighborhood and community to raise our lovely family. Although we've loved our home, where we've lived now for 35 years, we've also endured many challenges on the road where we live, Route 9W, the other side of Route 340, which was just discussed, including unsupportable increases in large truck traffic in excess of the legal weight limits permitted on Route 9W, speeding cars, motorcycles, and trucks above the posted speed limit, often traveling over 50, sometimes over 60 miles per hour on the too small lane road that is Route 9W, motorcycles and cars creating sound levels well above the decibel limit mandated by the state, but rarely, if ever, enforced, and many other problems. Most sadly, motor vehicle accidents, including pedestrians and cyclists, and including a tragic death, which I witnessed, of an 11-year-old boy who was struck by a car years ago in Palisades, and that I and other members of the community who were physicians responded to immediately, but were unsuccessful. The traffic patterns on 9W and dangers have only worsened since we've moved to our house. It's now common for us to see traffic jams opposite our house, extending both directions for several tenths of a mile from our house during rush hours and weekends, accompanied by large numbers of cyclists, motorcyclists, and large trucks, all trying to share this narrow two-lane road. In sum, Route 9W in Palisades is simply not safe. The plan that we've been presented this evening, which were initially posted only 2 days ago, I believe, at first, by my cursory review, appear to propose a dramatic increase in the population size and traffic for our small community of Palisades, and will have significant effects on vital support services. It will potentially have a greater environmental impact than any that the community of Palisades has ever experienced for at least my last 40 years, and undoubtedly much greater impact on the already dangerous traffic patterns of 9W that have sadly led to tragic accidents and to death. I sincerely hope that we will all be able to work together to create a lasting and thoughtful legacy, to make a better and a safer place for all residents of our town to live, and that we will, in so doing, preserve the values, the beauty, and the unique history of Orangetown and Palisades that we all so cherish. Thank you.
Eli Josephs. Eli Josephs.
I'm going to withdraw because I couldn't possibly say better than you just spoke. Thank you.
Not really sure. Is Kevin or Karen Ash? Yeah, it's me. I concur. Say the same thing. Okay. Barbara Meyer?
I have something different to say. Hi. The town has a comprehensive plan, and I want to quote from the comprehensive plan. Palisades values its historical preservation and rural low-density atmosphere. The hamlet enforces strict structural bulk regulations and uses constraints. That's very important. We are the smallest hamlet in our area. We have 513 homes. 30% of these homes are located within the historic district. Right now, we have 4 residential zones, distinct zones. R80, rural residential zones, approximately 2 acres per property. R40, low-density district, encompasses most of the older homes in the historic district, usually 1-acre dwellings. And R15, R22, medium-density pockets for the developments like on Horntook, et cetera. There are no MFR zones in Palisades. We know development is inevitable. We welcome having discussions with you. But when you had that photograph of the city within a city, there was a collective gasp throughout the entire crowd here. There is nothing warm and fuzzy and historic and bucolic for the reasons that we love Palisades and we love Orangetown, and it's just too big. And you want to have an MFR zoning with an OP zoning and throw out everything that we came here for and we pay big taxes for. So this needs to be really resolved, and we want to work with you if this is the group that you're going to work with, and we want it to be something that we can live with. Thank you.
Walter Kane.
Yeah, hi, my name is Walter Kane. I'm a registered architect, and I live in Piermont, and I've been on the zoning board there for, I don't know, a decade or something like that. So I just have one kind of technical observation. I had trouble. I understand that it's being proposed that there's a zoning change, and that it's
kind of a cluster concept. That's probably not the technical language, but it allows for clustering. And I would support that because it allows for more green space and all that. So yes, I'm not going to comment on the density because I think that's been covered adequately. But I couldn't triangulate between the proposed zoning, FAR, the number of how many square feet would be proposed versus sort of the lot size and other information that was provided. So I just wanted to say, as a board, just be really careful and really make sure you triangulate that, because we don't want a situation where a certain zoning is passed and separately proposals are put up here, and then at the end of the day, a lot more development is allowed under the implied zoning than we're being told will happen. So that's just a trap that can be fallen into. So yeah, just please be careful with that. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you. It looks like Gabor withdrawn. Okay, so that's the last person that had signed up. Is there somebody who wants to speak? Go ahead. Just if you don't mind, just saying your name and where you're from for the record.
Good evening. My name's Pauline Zervudis. I am a resident right behind this proposed development. I live on Copac Lane, and we collectively have all our residents in our neighborhood. We have discussions about this all the time, and we're very fearful of what's happening, only because obviously in the beginning we were giving farmland and this beautiful event, like beautiful spaces for everyone to enjoy, and you know what we all imagined Palisades, right? And now we're given something completely different, and we're just scared, exactly who spoke before us, that it's going to be more of a take situation. My property is literally, my backyard is touching the previous IBM center, let's say.
I'm sorry, did you say Copac Lane? Are you on Copac?
Copac Lane, yes. And, you know, there's so many things that, especially on Copac, that we're worried about, like storm drainage. Where is everything going? Where is the stormwater going? I know that you haven't gotten there yet, but if you're changing the infrastructure, then there's going to be huge changes. Whether you try to, you know, prevent it or not, it's going to happen. It's going to come onto our property. It's way too dense of an area. And I know that we've discussed this before, but I also wanted to talk about the tax exemptions. I'm just confused about the tax exemptions. The applicant is seeking over $8 million in tax exemptions. Am I right? Is this what I read? And pilot benefits for $270 million residential project that's expected to create only 4 permanent full-time jobs.
I don't know where's that from? I don't.
The IDA. Mm-hmm. And we need an explanation why this level of public assistance is necessary, and what public benefits the IDA determined that taxpayers will receive value to commensurate with the incentives requested. In other words, what exactly is the public receiving in exchange for millions of dollars in tax benefits?
You want to? Normally we don't respond, but because I don't know what you're talking about. So.
Yeah, thank you.
This particular, when we first got involved in the project, I don't think we truly understood how beautiful it is around here and what could be built here. And first we were talking about building a rental development. And when we did that, we went and spoke to the IDA about potentially doing something because, you know, the tax structure. I apologize. We were simply looking at it as a rental development where we were discussing with the IDA about how to do, how the taxes would work. We are not seeking anything from the residential side of this development for any type of tax decreases, pilots, none of that, no public assistance. This is a very clean, normal type of development, which would have normal ad valorem taxes. No sales tax abatement? We are not asking for any of that from the residential side at all. I can't speak for what would be for the other side, but we are not speaking for any of that. What you read at the IDA, that was old information. I apologize. I should have been removed. I don't even know why it's still there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. They're out in the hall.
Hi, I'm Larry Vale from Tappan. I will say that I am on the board of the Sparkill Creek Watershed Alliance, but this is all very new, so I'm not speaking for them, but some of the things I want to just get off my chest right away, it does concern drainage and watershed protection. First of all, let me say that I've been to I think it's Crystal Palace, at a wedding very recently there, and it was one of the best hors d'oeuvre presentations I ever had. and the house really does fit in with the neighborhood very nicely. I was very impressed with that. But I do have some concerns about this proposal. I think it's important, and you're quite right, this is not the time to get into the details, but what I'd like to do is just have you all think about how projects go sometimes. There's a proposal, it's kind of weird, it's kind of worked out, and ultimately, the applicant gets most of what they want, and then you fight over the details. But it all ends up kind of like that. And what I'm thinking is that because this is a zoning change proposal, we should think about some deficiencies in the Orangetown code that we have right now. One of them is that we do not have, to my knowledge, a really workable cluster zoning arrangement like Walter Kane was talking about. This is often done with a very small portion of what's there, or several small portions of these clustered dense buildings, and then a lot of space around them to protect the environment. And by the environment here, I mean Birch Brook, which is a tributary of the Sparkill Creek. And like the commander said, there's huge flooding that comes down there right now. And the requirement will be not to make it any worse. Well, it shouldn't be that. It should be to make it better. And it should retain. Yeah. And it should be able to retain some of the natural features. I mean, before IBM, this was a Girl Scout nature camp. I'd like to have a little bit of that remaining in Palisades. So there's ways to do this. I think we all want to increase housing in our area. Housing of this type looks like a good addition, but nowhere near this kind of way of jamming them all in. And I'll tell you what troubled me about the presentation was that there was a line, and I don't want to misquote it, but it was something like, we wanted to maximize using every single space here, like you guys said that was a requirement. If you did, please take it back. So I know my time is limited. That's the message I want to send. We can do something here, but I think you have to start with a blank slate, make a zoning that includes clusters, includes a lot of natural areas. There isn't even room for a detention basin for flood control on that plan that I see, unless it's all underground. So please think creatively from the beginning on this, and thank you very much.
Hand in the back. Can they hear us out? They can hear us outside.
They can hear us. I think it's just the doors are shut.
Okay.
Good evening. Thank you for this chance. My name is William Larkin. I've resided in Palisades for a number of decades. I got here late. I don't know if somebody said anything about Section 8 housing. Is that a possibility? And 342 units today, but what about 5 or 10 years from now? Is it going to be more?
We don't.
Section 8 housing, no possibility of that?
These are going to be condominium owned.
Okay, but there's no chance of Section 8 housing coming in?
I'm unaware of any way to do that, but
What about-
I never say never, but no, I don't believe that condominium
What about future
owned.
development adding more units in
No,
years
we
to come?
we don't go back and forth. I'm sorry. You can ask the questions, and we'll try to address them at the end, but we'll be here all night if we answer everyone's questions
Okay,
Ask your questions and we'll answer them for you.
okay.
at the end.
Thank you.
I understand there may be some people out in the hallway that want to speak, if they can hear me.
Well,
Okay. Nothing like sending a cop after them to make them change their mind.
Sparkill. If this isn't an over 55 community, you're going to overburden the school system, and then obviously the taxes.
Okay, to that point, I am going to respond to that. I personally spoke with the superintendent of schools, and here's a very not so well unknown fact. Both of our school districts are down dramatically in enrollment, dramatically. South Orangetown is down 700 students from like the mid-90s. Pearl River is declined every year for 12 years. They're doing a demographic study right now to figure out what. The superintendent of schools is full-fledged behind a project that may bring in some students. And also, this property, in 2020, when we started our process with them, they were paying $1.8 million in taxes, 1.2 to the school and 600 to the state and the county. Today, they are paying, I have it here somewhere, I think it's about 700 to the school and 500 to the town. I have it somewhere, but there's a huge gap that the rest of us made up for because they did tax grievances, because obviously look at the property, right? So I only know that because I saw comments on Facebook that the schools, it's going to overburden the schools. That argument's out. We need kids. I don't know how many kids you'd get out of here, but that is definitely not the case. And again, I spoke personally with the superintendent of schools myself. So to that point, anyway, somebody else, Eileen? Oh, I'm sorry, here it is, 706 to the school and 398 to the county and town now versus the 1.8. Okay.
Thank you to the board and Ms. Kenny. Thank you to the board and to Ms. Kenny. My name is Selen Wolk. I've lived in the Hayhoe Woods in Palisades for 35 years. I've raised my family here, sent my children to the public schools, paid taxes, and I'm a local businesswoman. My son is my business partner, and he and his wife are now raising their family in Palisades. This is a multi-generational endeavor. The Hayhoe Woods community is surrounded by two special use properties, the former IBM Center and the Esplanade. Both were developed and approved as discretionary entitlements, and part of that approval process depended on the creation of significant buffer zones. Both of these properties have been good neighbors as a result of the significant setbacks. Both the former IBM property and the Esplanade are now asking to build within these buffer zones. Such setbacks are essential when large lot developments abut residential neighbors. I am lobbying the board to both understand the importance of these large buffer zones and asking them to protect those of us who will be affected by these two developmental projects, the two projects being considered. I support tax-paying residential use on the IBM site and hope that the Palisades community's concern will be a priority with the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Eileen?
Good evening, members of the board, and especially to the listening audience tonight. Because if you feel that this is a Palisades issue, I can assure you this is an Orangetown issue. Because you've heard tonight from various residents of the town of Palisades of the proposed overdevelopment of H&A. Following issues will pertain to everybody: property taxes and school involvement, pressure, local infrastructure, possible fire and paid fire and emergency services, no longer volunteers. They are all looking for volunteers. It's a very, very significant issue here in Orangetown. Property values will devalue. Loss of community character, traffic congestion, environmental issues, habitat fragmentation. Create an urban feel. This project will affect every taxpayer in Orangetown. Why? You can figure it out every day when you see the traffic and the expenses to all our infrastructure will have to expand. I hope the developer will consider rethinking this plan and I invite him to a meeting here in Palisades with residents to hear other suggestions. Perhaps provide the property into different lots. Years ago, the famous McGee boys, we sat with them and talked to them about the 63 acres where they wanted to put 342 apartments for years. We suggested dividing the property into 1 acre, half acre, third of an acre, and MFR. They didn't like that, so we went in another way. But what's built there now are single-family, multi-million-dollar homes. I was involved, I'm here 54 years, 55. Of that 55, I guess 50 I've been involved with civic associations, Article 78s, and we stopped an MFR on 340 and Oak Tree Road years ago. There were single-family homes in there. This property should have been given over to a group that would preserve it. If this happens in Palisades, it can happen at the Kaufman campgrounds. How would you stop it? What would the people in Pearl River say? We are offended by this project. I'm offended by this. And why a MOU could say up to 342 units without any kind of studies, environmental, everything. The school districts at that time with the McGee's, the Rockland County Planning Board said, you will have to create a new hamlet, build schools, your police department, all your infrastructure will have to be enlarged. This is not a tax benefit to the residents. It only enhances the pockets of the developer. That's it.
Is there anybody else that wants to speak that didn't have?
Good evening. My name is Maria Gagliardi, and I'm a resident of Tappan, New York, but I'm the director of the Palisades Free Library. And the library does not have a position on this. The board hasn't discussed it. But listening to mention of the IDA in payments of lieu of taxes, I think I would like an answer tonight if the non-residential portion is going to be seeking pilots. And just to bring awareness to the board that there are different types of libraries in New York State, and the Palisades Library is an association library, which means we're not automatically eligible for tax payments, for pilot payments. So that should be considered at the very beginning if pilot payments are going to be considered instead of taxes, so that the property does pay its fair share towards the library, so that the library isn't left shortchanged because of that, and then the burden being put back on the residents. So I think we do need an answer if the non-residential portion is going to be seeking payments in lieu of taxes. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to try to wrap up here. Is anybody else who wants to speak that has not? Okay.
Good evening. Thank you, Supervisor Kenny, Councilman, Town Board, and thank you all for showing up. This is amazing. My wife and I, residents of Palisades, raised our family here. The boys played at the Legion Post, Spark Hill, Palisades baseball field. It was an amazing place for our family to grow up, and I want it to be a place that they can come back to. I've been a licensed architect in New York State for 40 years. Full disclosure, we were one of the presenters in the RFEI process, which was then awarded to Reveal because of their restoration of the property and not exceeding 30 to 40 townhouses. So we've been, thank you, Mr. Halpern, for coming. Please understand our position that we feel as a community that there's been a series of bait and switches. We were promised one thing, then another developer, we were promised another thing, another developer came in. I appreciate that you're here very much and speaking about your family legacy. I want you to know that we all feel very deeply about our community, the things that make it special. We in general support tax-paying uses on that site and residential uses, and we ask you to please engage with us. This is a very deeply held investment for all of us, and we would like to be engaged in the process. Again, we support tax-paying residential uses here. We appreciate that you're here personally. This is all very personal to all of us, and I want to thank you for your time, and thank you, everyone, for showing up to show that our community really cares about this property. Palisades was founded in 1685, and in the 541 years since then, a grand total of 513 units of housing have been built here. So this is very, very, very important to us. There's nothing flippant about it. We're very concerned, and we'd like to be engaged in the process. Thank you.
Okay. Any last takers? Okay. Do you guys want to say anything in closing? And then let them, motion to close the public portion?
I make a motion to close the public portion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Say anything? They can't hear you on Facebook and stuff, yeah.
Just on behalf of the applicant, we appreciate all the comments. We appreciate the public interest. This is the very beginning of a very long process. There will be lots of back and forth, and we look forward to it. So thank you very much, Madam Supervisor, and members of the town board, and members of the public. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We are going to go on and, oh, I should make them sit and listen to us now. No. Rick Cook. Yeah. Okay. Can I ask everybody to please move outside so we can finish our meeting? What's that? Oh. Get out! Okay, yeah. Okay, so we're going to move on, guys, because we... No, yeah, I mean, you're welcome to stay if you want. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, can I get a motion to accept the, item number 3, can I get a motion to accept the Economic Development Initiative? Gentlemen, we've got plenty of time to talk about it later. Agenda item number 3, can I get a motion to accept the 2026 Economic Development Initiative
Motion.
Community? Motion from Jerry Batari.
Second.
Dan Sullivan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion number 4 to approve the overage for renovations to the Cam Shanks Museum bathrooms?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Number 5, can I get a motion to accept the revised proposal and amend Resolution 2026-257 with the AKRF Data Center and Battery Energy Storage Review Agreement? Motion.
Motion to accept the revised.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 6, can I get a motion to appoint William Walter as a temporary member of the Orangetown ACABOR?
Motion to accept. Sorry, Paul.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 7, can I get a motion to approve the standard work day for elected or appointed officials? We have Rich Finning and Denise Sullivan. Motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 8, can I get a motion to release the performance bond for the reserve at Pearl River as recommended by the planning board? Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to accept the retirement of police officer Michael McDanis?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve land assistance for the 2026 Pearl River fireworks at the Central Avenue Field?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the audit for tonight's meeting consists of 3 warrants for $2.6 million. Items of interest, number 2, Capasso, $111,000 for recycling. Number 4, Global Mantello, $45,000 for fuel. Number 7, Miracle Recreation Equipment, $78,000 for shade structures. Number 9, NISHIP, $1.1 million for healthcare benefits. And number 12, PMC Incorporated, $74,000 for the grit collector rebuild at the sewer department. Any questions on the audit?
That miracle, that was bond money, right? We were covered by
Yes, that's bond money.
They look really nice, by the way, if anyone's been over to the playground. I didn't see anybody over there for the dog days of summer. But if you were there, you would have seen how nice the shade structures look. Okay, motion to accept the audit?
Motion to accept the audit.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
We do have an executive session, correct, Mr. Town Attorney, for personnel-related matters? Okay. We do have one adjournment in memory. We have Allison McCahey, former resident of Pearl River.
I make a motion that we adjourn the regular meeting at the end of executive session. We will not be doing any
Voting.
further voting.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.